In August 2025, the United States launched a massive deportation program. Recent posts on the X platform called it the largest deportation campaign in history. This policy, started in early 2025 under President Donald Trump's administration, aimed to remove millions of undocumented immigrants from U.S. territory. If you're interested in this topic, comment number 1. They also expanded expedited removal, allowing deportation without a court hearing for immigrants caught within 2 years of entering the U.S. The administration built large detention facilities, using military bases like Buckley Space Force Base in Colorado and expanding the Guantanamo Bay detention camp to hold tens of thousands of immigrants awaiting deportation. They also partnered with third countries like El Salvador and Eswatini to accept deported immigrants from the U.S. A post on X from July 30th, 2025, by the account Nargatomic stated that the campaign, named Operation Aurora, achieved about 140,000 deportations by July 2025. This was far below the administration's goal of millions per year. Legal and logistical barriers were cited as the main reasons for the slower progress. Based on news sources and X posts, key figures for the deportation program as of August 2025 include the number of deportations. A Washington Post article from July 5, 2025, reported over 239,000 people were deported from January to June 2025, including cases handled by ICE and the Customs and Border Protection Agency, or CBP. An X post by Border Watch USA on August 1, 2025, suggested this number may have risen to about 300,000 by early August, though this was not officially confirmed. ICE can currently detain 41,500 people at a time. However, Tom Homan, the Trump administration's border czar, stated on ABC News on February 1, 2025, that at least 100,000 detention beds are needed. Deportation flights in December 2024 mainly went to Guatemala with 33 flights, Mexico with 24, Honduras with 20, and Colombia with 10, according to Witness at the Border. By August 2025, third countries like El Salvador and Eswatini had become new destinations. Over 200 Venezuelans were sent to El Salvador in March 2025, as reported by the BBC. Data from the Deportation Data Project, published by the Washington Post on July 3, 2025, showed over 60% of those deported had no criminal convictions. This rate rose from 54% in January to 70% in June 2025. The large-scale deportation program sparked debate about its economic impact. A Senate Joint Economic Committee report from December 11, 2024, predicted severe economic damage from deporting millions of undocumented immigrants. The Peterson Institute estimated that deporting 8.3 million undocumented immigrants would reduce GDP by 7.4% and jobs by 7% by 2028. Even deporting 1.3 million would cut GDP by 1.2%. Labor shortages were a concern. The construction industry, with 282,000 job vacancies in September 2024, could lose up to 1.5 million workers. Agriculture, hospitality, and transportation could lose 225,000, 1 million, and 461,000 workers, respectively. The American Immigration Council estimated deporting 11 million people could cost $88 billion annually, not including electronic monitoring costs of $407 per person per day for those not detained. Some X posts, like one from Patriot Voice US on July 28, 2025, argued deportations would ease the burden on welfare systems and create jobs for U.S. citizens. However, JEC data showed that for every 500,000 immigrants deported, 44,000 U.S. citizens would lose jobs due to industry's inability to fill labor gaps. The deportation program caused significant social consequences. Family separations were common, with parents deported while their U.S. citizen children were left behind. NBC News reported a case in April 2025 of a Honduran mother and her 2-year-old son being deported. Organizations like the National Immigration Project condemned these cases as human rights violations. Protests and riots occurred across states like California, Texas, and Michigan from January to July 2025, according to Wikipedia. Riots in Los Angeles in June 2025 prompted the deployment of the National Guard. Internationally, UN experts, in a July 8, 2025 statement, raised concerns about deporting immigrants to third countries like South Sudan, where torture and human rights abuses were risks. Venezuela criticized the use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport its citizens, calling it the criminalization of migration. Public reactions in the U.S. varied, as seen on X. A post by America First 2025 on August 1, 2025 read, "Finally, we're taking strong action to protect our borders. Deportation is necessary to keep Americans safe." It received over 10,000 likes, showing support for tough policies. In contrast, Justice for Alles posted on July 31, 2025, "Mass deportations are destroying communities and tearing families apart. This isn't the America we want." This post got 8,000 shares, reflecting humanitarian concerns. A neutral comment by Policy Observer on July 30, 2025 said, "Trump's deportation policy faces logistical and legal hurdles. The goal of millions per year seems unfeasible." This highlighted practical challenges. Despite the Trump administration's goal of deporting millions annually, the program faced significant challenges. Logistically, current detention beds were insufficient. Using military bases in Guantanamo raised legal and humanitarian concerns. Legally, lawsuits piled up, like one in Boston over third-country deportations, reported by the Washington Post on June 24, 2025. The Supreme Court allowed some deportations to continue, but litigation persisted. Financially, Congress approved $170 billion for immigration enforcement in 2025, but actual costs could exceed this, straining the federal budget. The program's future remains uncertain. Analysts like Andrew Seeley from the Migration Policy Institute suggested internal U.S. deportations would face more resistance than border deportations due to community and advocacy group opposition. The U.S.'s large-scale deportation policy in August 2025 was an ambitious but deeply controversial effort. With over 239,000 people deported by June and possibly 300,000 by August, it had major economic, social, and humanitarian impacts. Some supported it as a national security measure, while others criticized it for human rights violations and economic harm. Logistical, legal, and financial challenges showed deporting millions annually is a daunting task. The U.S. must carefully balance border security and humanitarian values to build a sustainable immigration policy. Sources referenced include a Senate Joint Economic Committee report from December 11, 2024, Washington Post articles from July 5 and 3, 2025, a BBC article from March 16, 2025, and X posts from Enargatomic, Border Watch USA, America, 1st 2025, Justice for Alles and Policy Observer in July and August 2025. This article has utilized reliable sources and perspectives from social media to provide a comprehensive view. For a deeper understanding, readers can refer to statements from DHS, CBP, or reports from Reuters, The Guardian, and WOLA.
Subieron lo mismo. Eso es un oficial de That's what it is. Come on, man.
Back! Do not agree! Back! Do not Hey, well over there. Hey, well over there. He is. That's what.
Stay clear. Everyone clear. Out of the way!
Yes, so clear, sir.